back here at Baudry Therapy Center. I have here with me Brandon Rousseve, who is one of our personal trainers. He's also a baseball coach and a former Major League Baseball player. So what we're talking about today is warming up for the season, warming up for baseball season. April's here and it's time to start playing ball. And so, Brandon, looking at trying to get ready for the season, what type of things are you looking to do before you start playing?
Well, the first thing you want to remember is that baseball is a long season. It's going to span over several months, pertaining to a bunch of games and twice as many practices. So when you think about baseball, you think about throwing the ball a lot. Whenever you're playing a game or practice, you're going to make tons and tons of throws. So before the season, if you want to truly prepare yourself for those throws, you need to do a bunch of things to strengthen your arm, to get a little more strength and stamina to make as many throws as you need to through a long season. So for a few of the things we'll do is show a couple exercises that can help get yourself prepared for the season. So one of the first ones that I would say, when throwing, you're going to do a lot of rotation of your arm, backward and forward to throw. So one of the things we want to work on is exactly that rotation. The first exercise I show is external rotation. For here, you want to make sure you're standing up nice and tall with your belly in. Elbow is going to be glued to your side. From here, you're just opening your arm up to the side, keeping the elbow touching the ribs here, and let it return back to start. And we're going to move nice and slow through a controlled range back and forth to get more of the posterior shoulder and the back of the shoulder blade here to get yourself stronger there. The other side of the coin would be the internal rotation. I'll show with the left arm. Here, if we keep the elbow glued, we'll start just the opposite. The first one we started closed and opened up. This one, for internal rotation, we'll start with the arm open and pull it closed across your chest, again keeping that elbow glued to the side. These exercises both continue to work on a lot of the rotation that we go through each way through a throwing motion. The next thing I say to help strengthen or get yourself ready would be a split raise. For split raises, we're going to grab both handles. We'll stand with a staggered stance, one foot's up and one foot's back. Usually you're throwing the same foot you step with when you throw, so it's more natural. So if you're a right-handed thrower, you would stand with your left foot in front and your right foot back. Grab both handles, chest up tall, and we're going to move both arms at the same time, but they're moving in opposite directions. One arm's going to move up as the other one pulls straight back, and we turn them back to start. They cross each other, and we keep going. When you're doing these exercises, you want to make sure you use a slow and controlled range and not let the rubber band take over and become a bouncing exercise, because we won't get much out of it. So when you're doing both the internal and external rotations as well as the split raise, make sure you're doing it in a controlled fashion so you're getting the most out of each muscle and each repetition to get yourself truly strong. So those are a few easy things you can do with any kind of TheraBand to get yourself, to build up a little more stamina and strength through the shoulder blade, specifically the posterior shoulder.
Those are great, and I like the way you had, arms are constantly moving in opposite directions.
That's
even
right.
when you're throwing, right? I mean,
exactly.
You kind of separate, and one goes one way, and the other goes the other way.
Right, so you want to practice some of those same techniques through exercise, through the same motions you'll make in baseball, and you said it exactly right. When you throw a baseball, the front arm is going to come up as the other one's moving forward, so just like we did there, we're moving in two opposite directions through our throwing motion at one point here. So those things really helped key in on the technique as well as specific strengthening exercises.
Show me over here, I know we strengthened the arms, but show me all some three kind of full body type exercises that we might use as the warm-ups.
Alright, the next thing I'll show, a further version or a more extensive version of strengthening would be a lawnmower exercise. For a lawnmower, we're again working the posterior shoulder and the shoulder blade, getting more strength through the back of our arm to control our motion going forward. So in order to do a lawnmower, think of it just like it sounds. You're starting a lawnmower. You're going to grab it with one hand, one handle. You're going to stagger your feet. The back foot should be slightly angled in front of the front, so your feet are angled not directly to your straight ahead or to your left. You want to angle them in the middle. You're going to grab your handle with a slight bend in the knees. This is going to be a more full body movement, but we're still trying to isolate the shoulder blade more so than anything else. We're going to start with a little bend in our knees, again keeping that belly tight to keep some stability through your core. From here, as I row back, I'm going to pull from the shoulder blade, keeping myself controlled with some slight rotation through my trunk, and then I'll return the arm back to start. From here, as you can see, there's more movement through the body, but we're still isolating the pull from the shoulder blade, isolating each side here. And in baseball, we only throw with one arm, but in order to truly build strength, you need to develop some sense of symmetry or balance from side to side. So as much as you're going to work that throwing arm or your right arm, you want to work on the opposite arm to develop some sense of balance. So we would be the same exercise here. I would just angle my feet the opposite direction, keeping the belly tight again, and I'm going to row back from the shoulder blade with slight rotation through my core and return back to center. Each time I start, my chest is going to be facing the pulley, and then when I finish, I should be facing away with a full squeeze through the back of my shoulder blade here to return back to start. So those are a few exercises that really isolate the shoulder.
Show me that row again this way, the long more.
Okay.
Your right arm.
So when doing it, like I said again, make sure you stagger your stance and keep good posture through your belly and your back here. From here, we're going to start with the knees bent, pulling back.
When you're there, I mean, look at it. I mean, that's a real powerful position. You can see how that's positioned. If you're going to throw a punch, or throw the body, I mean, look how stable his spine is.
And that's exactly right. When you're throwing a baseball, we're in that exact position, except for we're moving forward. So in order to strengthen, we have to strengthen the opposite direction in a lot of exercises that we do. Because a lot of the strength and the power is coming from the back of the arm and the shoulder blade, we need to do things that involve pulling back, even though when we throw, we actually move forward, but it's mainly controlled by the shoulder and the shoulder blade. So these are good things to help work on further strength through the posterior shoulder and the scapula.
Okay, how about the wrist and forearms? I know that's real important.
Big point. A lot of times nowadays you're seeing more and more surgeries with younger and younger kids on elbows and things like that. So to avoid that, we want to make sure we target the elbow and the forearm to get it a lot stronger and strengthen it for the season.
Got something for us?
I got it here. So the first thing we'll do, now you want to grab a weight that feels moderate and for tension and control. The first exercise we're going to do is a wrist curl. Isolating the inside of the forearm, we're going to grab, leaving the wrist off of the knee so it has room to move in motion here. We're going to start with the fingers extended with the weight in the fingertips. We'll curl up, isolating the forearm to curl all the way to the top part of our flex here. We'll lower down under control again. Again, we're isolating the muscle on the inside of the arm, so we want to move with control and keep moving up and down to strengthen the inside of the shoulder. The opposite part of that will be to flip it over and work on the top part of your forearm or the extensive. So from here, we'll start again with the wrist clearing the knee, and we'll lift up in the opposite direction, isolating the top of the forearm. Another area you want to specifically work on is rotation through the elbow. So with a dumbbell, the easiest way to do that is to grab closer to one end so the weight's shifted towards the top of the weight here. From here, again, you start with the wrist clearing the elbow, and we're going to let the wrist rotate out, and we'll turn it over. Again, just like we did our other exercise, we want to make sure we're moving through good control to isolate the muscle and not let gravity or momentum take over the exercise instead of our muscles. So those are a few things that are really good for the elbow to get yourself stronger and ready to play the season.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. I think those are great tips for getting started for April and getting into the sport. And good luck. Try some of those exercises. Brandon works here at Baudry Therapy Center and also at the Big Easy Sportsplex, where he does some training and some coaching. So look us up if you have any questions for us. We'd love to hear from you. And play better baseball.
That's right.